You are listening to Charting Wealth's comprehensive review and forecast for the week beginning Monday, the 27th of August, 2018. We see everything up for the day. Hey, would you do us a favor and purchase our book, Charting Your Way to Wealth? It is the one way we have to monetize this website that we bring to you for free every single day, and it explains in detail our methods of trading, why we do what we do, explains the Bollinger Bands, the derivative oscillator, the price percent oscillator, the moving averages, both simple and the exponential, all the stuff that we do in our two main methods of entering trades and how we exit them. It is for sale, available for you. If you look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, there's a link. You can also go to any of the show notes and you will find links to purchase our book. And guess what? We do special trainings all the time. The next one is coming up on the 30th. We're going to put out another special training. In fact, guess what we're going to put out for you? We're going to put out the short chart trading for those of you who are interested in short charts, knowing what they're about, and start to practice that kind of trading. We're going to get it out for you again. So if you don't have it, you need to buy the book, and we will get it to you on the 30th. That means purchase the book this weekend. You'll have it before the 30th. Okay, friends, let's jump into these charts. We see a nice green up candle having followed a red spinning top the prior week on the S&P 500. Of course, we see the derivative oscillator, price percent oscillator continuing to gain energy. We go to the 2-day chart and we see the price percent oscillator pulling away from the red signal line. 6 days, 3 candles of strong up movement on the 2-day chart. Derivative oscillator gaining momentum also. And what do we see happening on that 4-hour chart? Beautiful, bounced right back up. Never crossed over the 2-day trend line. Never, of course, got even close to the weekly trend line. Lost a little bit of energy and then turned around, told you to keep a close eye on it. Bounded up even higher. We saw the original jumping in point after last Friday. It was on Monday at noon. Could have looked to jump in at 10:30, somewhere around, or you could have just waited again until noon, jumped in at the beginning of the afternoon candle. And again, Heikin-Ashi candlesticks are not the best to look back in time to try to figure out exactly what the price point was, but somewhere around the 185 or so point. And of course, by the end of the week, a high of 187. I'm sorry, I keep saying one, folks, forgive me. 287.67. I know some of you are pulling your hair out. Wait a minute, it's not 1, it's 2. Yes, I seem to always do that with the S&P 500. 287.45, something like that. So again, looking nice. Continue to pay attention if you're in that long trade. Again, practice trade. We're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. We want you to practice with us. Best way to practice is with your worksheets, both your daily, your weekly, and your trade worksheets. They're all available for free in the show notes. PDFs are available right there. Print them out. We also have a bound version if you would like, and you can sure buy those. 3-month versions are available. Send you a whole year's supply for, I think, a 10% or maybe even a little more discount. But think about it. At least print them off for yourself and use them. And every time you do a practice trade, use those for your practice trade, the trade worksheet. It will accelerate your trading more than anything else you can do. That is to document the practice and do it with your daily market worksheets over the weekend, your weekly market worksheet, and your trade worksheet whenever you do a trade. Let's keep moving through these charts, trying to keep it at 10 minutes for you. What do we see going on the Qs? Well, the Qs ended the week up with a green spinning top, a little better than the prior week, which is a red spinning top. We see the price percent oscillator trying to pull away from the red signal line a little bit. Derivative oscillators gained a little bit of energy. What do we see on that 2-day chart? 2-day chart still negative, still crossed over going down, hasn't made its way back up yet, even though we have 4 days of up movement. Derivative oscillator still negative too, so we don't have a trade since the weekly and the 2-day going in different directions, but we do see strong up movement for the day, both in the morning and the afternoon. Till that 2-day chart rotates around, we don't have a trade on the Qs, so we'll watch and see how that develops over the course of the next week. What do we see going on 20-year bonds? Up 0.19% for the day. Not super strong up movement, but it did leave us with all that weekly movement with a nice big green up candle. We're now going to be able to actually draw a somewhat worthwhile trend line. It was pretty much flat from when things rotated around and started really accelerating with candle movement. So we see derivative oscillators positive. Now we go from the weekly to the 2-day. What do we see? Well, it's moving up also. In fact, beautiful trend line connecting 6 candles, 12 days of up movement. Derivative oscillator gaining momentum, price percent oscillator heading up. What do we see on the 4-hour chart? Sort of squirrely in the morning, but then up in the afternoon. We haven't had a pullback, so we haven't had an entry point. Remember, the way that we trade is we wait for the 4-hour to pull back, that is, go in the opposite direction when the weekly and the 2-day are moving in that same direction. We have to have a jumping in point. And the safest is a pullback and then a resumed up movement on the 4-hour chart. Hasn't happened yet to give us the ability to jump in. Now, some of you ask, hey, Tom, can we go to the 2-hour chart to do that? You can. It's a little squirrely, though, as you look and see. Again, we use charts and we use time frames when they work. When they don't work, we don't use them. We're not melded to anything, my friends. We want to do what works. I will change this chart tomorrow, throw it out, and come up with a brand new one if it works. What we try to do every day is what works, because if you're not seeing progress in your trading, if your charts aren't working for you, you're using the wrong charts. And I will tell you now, sometimes the charts just don't work because the market's too screwy. So guess what we do? First rule of trading, don't lose money. Second rule of trading, make money. What do we see going on at the end of the week? That strong up movement in gold turned our red candle to an up candle. Caused the price percent oscillator to go flat on the weekly chart. Derivative oscillator to lose massive energy. This is our 4th up candle, weekly up candle, since all the way back when things really started accelerating down on the 27th of April. So that is quite interesting, isn't it, friends? What do we see on the 2-day chart? Oh, please. There we go. We see 6 days of up movement now. Derivative oscillator bounded up, and we have a crossover going up. So we no longer have any kind of ability to pull off shorts on gold because the 2-day is moving in the opposite direction of the weekly. That is, the 2-day is heading up. So we will adjust that accordingly, and we will put that on the books. Now we go from the 2-day that is heading up to the 4-hour, and that's where we see that huge up movement in the morning, followed by up movement in the afternoon. Things had already crossed over going up, but the prior day they started to blow off, and we were hoping if there was a crossover to jump in going down. Well, kept our powder dry, waited to see what would happen, and of course went in the opposite direction. That's why we have the rules, folks, because they work almost all the time. So that's where we are, my friends, as we end the week. Thank you so much for being with us. Purchase our book if you don't have it already. Special training coming out on short charts for those of you who haven't had it. All of our new book purchasers, get the book. God bless. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.